We're going to move on to scenario-based questions. With this, we're going to use the STARL, which is situation, task, action, result, and lesson learned. The first one is, tell me about a time you made a big mistake at work and why.
There was a time that I realized I committed to too many projects. We had to deliver several reports to management and realized that I couldn't manage the task at hand. I quickly talked to my manager to see if anyone can help, as we needed to make sure the projects were completed on time due to the team's commitment, and owned up to my mistake. At the end, someone helped me, and with some hard work, we managed to get everything done on time. Since that time, I've learned to always time manage my tasks. I created a system to track time and tasks and made sure that if anything was in jeopardy again, we can do something about it earlier.
So by giving this answer, you see it's very complete. There's no negatives in there. It talks about how you action something and how you learned. If you look at this, with a red pen, blue pen, there's not a lot of stuff you could say that's going to be negative. Nothing that's going to stand out as the color red. Yet in the color blue, where it's talking about positives, especially when you apply the purple, the lesson learned, it shows that you are very self-aware. The next question is, tell me about a time you were really proud of yourself.
I had a situation when I got recognized for going above and beyond to help my team due to a time-consuming task. Our team has to deliver architectures with precise sizing of system utilizations. Because of how much time it took, I learned to script a tool to help the team quickly size the repetitive stuff, so all they had to do was enter a few numbers and the details were auto-calculated. The tool helped the team save 60% every day on their architecture designs and has since spread across my team, to throughout the organization. I've learned helping others was very big motivator for me, more than the recognition.
Now following the STARL, we can see that we're going to outline the situation, task, action, result, and lesson learned again. And for this, it shows that you were very useful. It talks about something that is beneficial, and it gives a very good situation about your own character. So for yourself, you should think about stories here that really help define who you are as a person, and that's useful for the person interviewing you, that they say, hey, that's a great character. It actually fits with the role that I'm looking for. Don't tell them that, hey, I love to help old people and I'm very kind, yet you're going into an architect role, and the architect role, it's all about using details and following processes. So those types of stories don't align. Yet if you're able to find a story that aligns with the job you're going for, that's going to be bonus points for you. The next scenario-based question is, tell me about a time you disagreed with your boss.
I had a situation when my boss saw I had to deploy an outdated application into production and the boss was not around to confirm. My boss would drop code for me to deploy into our production environment. I had to ask 2 people to verify if there was any mistake, to make sure I didn't misinterpret anything. I also double-checked the code in production and confirmed it was an error. I also double-checked with my team on not releasing the code, as the risk to production was bigger than giving them the new features. When my boss returned, he was super happy with my decision and was proud I took so many steps to verify everything. I've learned to really double-check everything since that event. Everyone can make mistakes very easily.
So following the STARL, again, let's see what we answer. So you see in this one, we also talk about how you verify your facts, how you go get other people's opinions, so you're not just making a very important decision to yourself, and you're also very aware of what you've learned. So this is a great answer and another great example of red pen, blue pen, where you're talking about a lot of positives about yourself and not anything negative that might hurt you during the interview. The next scenario-based question is, tell me about a time you were tasked to do something and you didn't know how to do it.
I was asked to provide training, and realized the documentation passed to me was written from a coder's perspective. I had to train the team on the coming Monday morning team call on a new tool that was supposed to be part of our everyday workflow. Because I lacked information, I had to quickly start testing the application and document it in a way that made sense to my team. After many long hours, I was able to successfully train everyone on the new program. In fact, the presentation has now become the training guide for those joining the team. I've learned that you really need to understand the target audience when writing documentation.
So again, with this approach, we've talked about benefits. Again, nothing negative. Everything is going to be blue. There's no red pen in here that talks about anything that could help you lose a job. And it also shows a lot of character that's positive when someone's interviewing you. Let's take a quick look at how we would answer these questions on the tell me about a time you were tasked to do something and you didn't know how to do it, if you were interviewing at each of these roles. So we could use the same story, but we could change the L, which is the IT job.coach specialty, where we talk about a special bonus points of being able to apply your lessons learned to the role you're going into. And this will differentiate you compared to other people going for those interviews. So try to find stories that help you in the role you're going for. For example, if you're going for customer facing, they're trying to find people that are helpful, people that can communicate clearly, people that go above and beyond to help someone else. So those are all great attributes for customer facing roles.
I've learned that just because I'm familiar with the product, doesn't mean everyone is. It's better to know who I'm talking to and use the right words from their perspective.
If you're doing internal, where there's an analyst, a specialist, or a DevOps, you want to talk about how you go above and beyond to document stuff, to help make things clear, how you go and find details or find answers to hard problems. You could read multiple help groups, you have a whole list of contacts that you could ask questions to, you know where to find certain types of information. Those are all valuable assets for an analyst or a specialist.
I've learned that doing a lot of research on it myself helped me grow. I was able to be the team expert because of all my own effort in putting the training together.
If you're in more of a senior role, how you communicate, how you work with other people, how you have bigger global thinking is a great way to show your seniority and your ability to think out of the box and work with different groups in the organization. So any types of stories where it shows that you're well connected or you always think about impacting other services are great stories you want to show during an interview for a solutions architect or a senior DevOps.
I've learned anything that is produced has implications. If it isn't well thought through, it won't be useful or do its job when it matters.
There's a little bonus for you guys. We talked about Microsoft Whiteboard before in the past. So if you're doing an interview, another thing you could do to just really add the bonus points is to use Microsoft Whiteboard. And what you can do is have your resumes and stuff like that ready to go. So if you're talking through your resume, you can just zoom out, grab your resume, put it in here, and talk through some of your points. And if you get into those scenario questions that we just covered, what you can do is bring up the relevant stories that you want to tell, and you would just zoom out, go over here, and talk about how you were really proud of one time I was mentoring someone and they had very good value. Or if you're doing an analyst interview, you can go over here and talk about an architecture that you've created. And if you guys want to do this, I'll show you the link where you get your own icons. All you have to do is go to Google and type in Amazon icons, and the first link is what you want to click on. If you're ever showing this, do not show private information. So if this is specific to your company, if it has IP addresses, host names, or anything like that, make sure you remove those or blur them out or some other form or fashion, like what I did with my previous screenshot over there. If you're showing private information to someone in an interview, they know that you're not very conscious about someone's security, and that can actually get you in a lot of trouble if you show it. And make sure any private information is always stripped before you present anything. So that's a great way, and whenever you're telling stories, you can always go back and forth and say, when I got promoted into this role, I got this elite leader for having the highest morale in a team. So you can bring up your own stories, filling in the STARL profile, and use pictures to explain it. So this will get you more bonus points when you're presenting, and it also shows that when you're doing presentations like this, you think out of the box and you're always willing to do something above and beyond. So it's just a bonus tip for you guys. I hope that helps. Hey, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys learned something. And if you have more questions you want me to answer, leave a comment below, go to my Facebook group and leave it there, or email me at rick@itjob.coach. I'll see you guys soon, and stay safe.